Happy weekend all, and as it's the weekend I thought I'd take the opportunity to talk a little bit about something people have been asking me to do for ages now, to cook, and we also get asked in the restaurants a lot about paella. A lot of people would say paella, Spanish pronunciation. Got to be arguably one of the world's most famous dishes. You can take dishes from all around the world that you sort of recognise, and paella is one of them. Okay, I've been holding off doing this because, quite frankly, it's a really difficult subject for me. Something I feel passionately about from spending a lot of time in eastern Spain and cooking and eating dishes like this. But it's probably one of the most bastardized and ruined dishes on the planet. I know it sounds awful, but you know, there aren't many places where you can go and get a very good one. I know one place in the UK, probably full stop, and when people say, why aren't you putting it on the menu in Bar 44, in Asador 44, I was like, well, you don't put paella on a menu when you're in a tapas bar or you're in an Asador. In Spain, you would go to an arroz rice restaurant to have rices and paellas. Paella is one type of Spanish rice dish, of which there are hundreds and loads of books and everything on it. Okay, so I wouldn't go and order one in a restaurant or a bar unless I knew that's what they specialised in. Okay, often it's in Spain it would be a lunch dish. Okay, and you share it in the middle of a table, and that would be the star of the show, not any other food. Okay, so you're looking at specialised rice restaurants. So today, gonna have to humour me for a bit whilst I get my Senor Geek mode on and talk a bit about paella before we actually cook it. So you might want to turn off because I'm going to talk about history and all sorts. Okay, it's one of the obviously one of the most emblematic dishes when you think of Spain and Spanish food. Probably, like other things from Spain has happened over the years, has been ruined by mass tourism and people making terrible versions of it, of using colouring spice packs and all that sort of thing to make it yellow, and using even basmati rice in it, and god awful lots of frozen products. So the 70s boom in the Costas of UK tourism and things like that, plastic laminated menus with photos of paella. Please avoid all those places if you want a really good paella. But the history of it dates back a long way, and it's probably down to two cultures actually, the Romans and the Arabs. The Romans were probably responsible for the pan initially, and the Arabs who came over in the 8th century to Spain brought with them the rice. Okay, and southeastern Spain, Murcia region and Valencia region are the two famous rice growing regions and paella regions. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about, yes, the pan. I was going to say, obviously everyone knows what this pan looks like. It's got a very the shape is noticeable straight away. Okay, and the name actually probably comes from, well, there's two schools of thought. It could be an Arabic word which I can't pronounce, I don't speak Arabic, which meant leftovers. Okay, when servants of Arab kings would make a leftovers dish from ingredients and add rice to it. Another school of thought is it could be a Galician word called patella, which is a type of pan there. Okay, so it has lots of history behind it. A very important thing is the shape of it. You'll notice it's wide and shallow. Okay, this is a part of Spain historically which isn't known for its great big forests. It's a farming peasant dish. Okay, in parts of the world where you wouldn't have a lot of logs and things like that, so you're not getting a deep pot to cook long and slow dishes in. You're getting twigs from the farm, orange tree clippings, vine clippings, things like that, which burn hot and quickly. So they developed the pan to be wide and shallow for an even, quick cook. Okay, but that's some history of it. I could go into millions more things, the varieties of rice, which, you know, there are 4, 5, 6 really interesting varieties of rice within the region that you could use, which top chefs use for different styles of rices, and they're very, very particular about paella. So you can begin to get now why I get sort of quite passionate about a real paella and misconceptions, especially in the UK, of what people think it is. Okay, like any dish, people from that region will be incredibly proud of it, so it shouldn't be ruined, essentially. Okay, right, got a lot of that out of the way. Sorry to drag on about it, but I just thought it'd be quite cool for people to know a bit more about it. But nitty gritty now, and the fun bit, let's just cook with amazing produce and cook a paella over fire. We thought it'd be as authentic as we could, despite current circumstances. But the sun is almost shining, Spanish style, middle of Wales, still wearing a jumper in May. So we're going to use, as I said, it's harks back from a leftovers dish, which all great dishes often do, don't they? But it's also an amazing seasonal dish. So you would have, I'm taking amazing experience we had in Valencia a couple of years ago in Albufera National Park. We went out to, well, some of the best rice restaurants in the world are there, and you are eating and cooking paella with the chefs on the water side using ingredients from around. So they're using seasonal and they're using what's around them. Okay, so the one we had was with little wild ducks from around, and snails, and also some beans, and it was stunning. Okay, seafood didn't come in until a lot later on when it moved out to the coast from the farms. So your original paella was probably something like rabbit, snails again, and runner beans or something like that. So today we're doing what we got to hand. Any of you saw the ox cheek video I did the other night? We're using leftovers from that and the beautiful stock I had. But the building blocks of amazing paella start with your sofrito and your rice. Okay, so sofrito, rice, the stock, all so important here. Okay, sofrito, which is the basis of so many great Mediterranean recipes. Okay, you'll generally find it's sautéed garlic, onions, peppers. Today we've also used tomato, and that's the main basis of it. And I've cooked it out probably for an hour and a half. Added some smoked paprika and, also these lovely roasted piquillo peppers, which are beautiful. And then you don't have to do this, but once it's really sweet and caramelized and flavorful, just blend it. Okay, I'm doing that because I just thought I would get the flavor through that rice. Okay, so you're going to start with that in your pan, and next is your rice. This is a short grain rice. This is Calaspara rice. This is from just outside in Murcia. Okay, this is the first Spanish rice to gain a DO status. You guys could use in the shops, you just get paella rice, which is a similar type, slightly different to this, but it's a short round grain. Okay, and that's the key, because this is going to suck up 3 times its own weight. Okay, 3 times the volume. So I'm using 200 grams of this to 600 grams at least of stock. And don't forget, paella is a dry rice, seco. You get seco, you get meloso, which is a sort of wet rice, and you get caldoso, which is a brothy rice. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to start the fire. Let's get cooking.